Hello everyone, this is Saturday night baseball here at Norwood Oval. We've got game 3 between the Adelaide Bite and the Canberra Cavalry. My name's Andrew Sperling with my partner Peter Wyatt. We are the 10th inning and we are proud to bring this telecast to you. Well, it's a 1-1 split with these two teams at the moment, but that's not exactly the way that the Bite needed it. They needed a sweep, and although their chances are as slim as you can get, there is still just some minor little miracle that may occur. So we are here and we are just about ready to get going. Paul Mildren will be the starter for the Bite. I'll quickly run through their lineup. Creswell shortstop, Lodge left field, Lattimore centre field, Choi at first base, Welsh at third base, Roger right field, Cam's DHing, Adamson's catching, Catebread. What are you doing to me?
No, keep going.
Otherwise you're blasting my ears off.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, here we go, folks. Time to play ball. Adelaide Bite taking on the Canberra Cavalry.
Sorry.
You're right now, you're right. It's good coming through now. Yeah.
Not in my earphone.
The shortstop, Cody Whitetail.
Sorry about that as we got halfway through the lineup, and that first pitch from Mildren is pulled down the line. My producer tried to wake me up and threw my headphones on full blast and it freaked me out, so I do apologise about that. We're Roger at right field, Cam's DHing, Adamson's catching, Catebread second base, Paul Mildren on the mound, as I said, for the Cavalry. Not many changes. Hightower at shortstop, Stovall is at centre field, Bashini second base, Barnes is at third base, Murphy's catching, connects at left field, Wells at first base, Matavesi's coming in and he's DHing, and Callaway's at right field. So we've got a terrific crowd in here again for this last Saturday night home series, and that's punched hard along the first baseline, but Choi, a professional first baseman that he is, put his body on the line and knocked it down and made an important put out for Mildren in his early work here. Paul's had a little bit of a shaky old season, and he is a wonderful competitor. He's had a lifestyle change in university and it's taken him all over the place with his work required to achieve his goals at uni, and it's just taken his focus a little bit away from baseball, and he is a man that needs plenty of work and needs his mind well and truly focused on the job to be at his absolute best. But here he is, still a game 3 starter, and that ball is smashed by Stovall around the corner, crashes into the left field fence. He hikes it around second for a stand-up double for the Cavalry to kick things off for them. So an excellent start there by Stovall. Just absolutely latched onto that fastball and just ripped it around the corner. There's only 5 metres to the right of Lodge, but he was absolutely no chance of stopping that ball. It was a laser beam to left field. So he picks up a double and immediately gets in scoring position for the Cavs. And that's a long ball by Bashini. He just follows the form that he's been under and takes first pitch about 400 feet over the centre left field fence. And this guy is a star. If he wasn't before this series, he's now latched into most offensive categories in the competition. And I was really looking forward to seeing a lot of these guys come to Adelaide and see them firsthand. And wow, what a pleasure it is to see such a class act like Bashini. And he bangs a 2-run bomb. First pitch, first at bat. Thank you very much. So Mildren fires back with a inside fastball for strike 1. Up and out for ball 1. So 1-1 count. 1 out. It's a sinking fastball, just misses downstairs. So Mildren again delivers another nicely located pitch downstairs that he chops into foul territory. Shout out to all of our viewers around the world, and specifically here, as that's just a little off the handle by Barnes. Lattimore creeping back, takes a routine outfield fly straight away centre field. So g'day to all of our Canberra viewers and our locals here on a Saturday night in Adelaide. Been a bit of a blustery old day here, and things have just settled a fraction. So conditions are near on perfect, lovely temperature, viewing beautiful, so no excuses. Murphy takes strike one. Just having a little chat with the chief, thought it was downstairs. And Mildren again tries to get a pitch in and hits Murphy right on the upper arm. And big fella has a bit of a ring of the hand and waltzes his way to first base, hit by pitch ball. Shout out to all of our magnificent sponsors: Marshall Batteries, Duct Air Conditioning, MC Sportswear. We've got the Colts Baseball Academy, PPI PA, which is Craig Watts, and Australian Fire Services, which is the great Shane Bennett. We thank them enormously. They've given us an opportunity to put our heart and soul into this for you. And we've always said to ourselves, hey, what could be worse than sitting in prime spot watching an ABL game, and that ball's hammered around the corner by Connect. This Canberra team, with 8 guys hitting over 300, have been an offensive power machine. Your bullpen's been solid, and hence they booked their ticket into the playoffs last night, so congratulations to them. As Marcus Connect bangs one in the middle hole of shortstop for a base hit. Seen a couple of terrific games so far. 4-3 winners, the bite on Thursday night, and last night 8-7 losers. So at the end of the day, no one can really have many if, buts or maybes. It's just been extremely tight, and it's just come down to a couple of little things. Last night was the Adam Bashini show, and tonight he's begun on stage one straight away with a 2-run bomb. And what a star he's been. So regardless of who you barrack for and what your bias may be, what a thrill it is to watch some great young baseballers as well. As pulls that one around the corner, foul. So an excellent start here by the Cavalry. They've just come out firing. Paul Mildren, who, as I said, has tried his heart out like he always does, but he just hasn't been as sharp as he has been in yesteryears. And he would have loved a nice, easy little start, but the Cavalry well and truly were saddled up and ready to go. And they've come out firing, everyone making some good swings. And they're looking for a big curly number in this first dig to really thrust their way into this game as Mildren gets a change up, and again it's just popped into centre field. Some nice contact by Wells, but a routine outfield fly. That retires the bite. Retires the Cavalry. They score a couple off a Bashini bomb. We'll have a short break. We'll see you back here in a moment.
Hi, I'm Kelly and this is Mark, and we are now Energy Smart.
We sure are.
We've recently updated our old ducted air conditioner with a Duct Air Energy Smart system.
And that meant we didn't have to replace our old air conditioning unit.
And now it works like a dream. It's super quiet and it saves us a ton of money.
An Energy Smart delivery system can save up to 45% on running costs and make your system perform the way you want.
And now I can use my air conditioner whenever I want.
Now that's Energy Smart.
So welcome back everyone. I failed to mention to you that John Holdscombe will take the mound for the Cavalry, and having a quick 3 wins, 3 losses, 4.15 ERA. And once again, just part of a very solid bullpen. When I look through their ERA, they're all tidy. And hence, that's why them and Sydney and Perth have really been the teams that have been the most consistent and dominant thus far this season. And Holdscombe, another boy that got on the stretch machine when he was young, another big unit, another 6'6", 6'7" guy at least, massive legs, just that absolutely stereotypical pitcher build. As Creswell leads off and gets one in. Oh. So on a 3-1 count, he gets a dirty little pitch inside that somehow was called strike one. And Holdscombe comes again and he rips it around the corner. Barnes collects, fires over to Wells for a nice smooth 5-3. So I'm hoping to have Chris Coleman up here with us from about the 3rd dig on, which will be wonderful, I'm sure, and certainly from the Canberra perspective to have one of your own up here and commenting on their players and having so much more knowledge than I. Should be a real thrill, and he's a real pro, Chris. Does a great job in Canberra and also with his professional duties with the ABC. I'm really looking forward to meeting him and having a chat. There's that pitch again inside that there was some consistency there. So Holscombe, as Lodge gets one off the end of the bat, just dribbles slowly to Wells at first base. He collects it with a foot on the base for a very easy out. So it'll be great to, over the progress of the night here from the Cavalry camp. I'm sure they're absolutely over the moon with securing their playoff spot. And I'm sure they're really wishing that they go into it in hot form and going to put up a really good show. And there's no reason why not, with a few stars through their lineup and a solid pen. So Holscombe just misses that one inside. Similar spot that he's been prying away at, when a big man throwing it reasonably hard can fire in hard at you like that. It really keeps you well and truly on your toes as a hitter, but Quincy's been able to lay off those couple of pitches. And with a true hitter's count at 3-1, he sets up and Holscombe comes inside again and he walks Lattimore. So let's hear from you over the journey, folks. Live baseball at the 10thinnings.com.au. Laptop at hand, ready to roll. Hello to Jim Manning out there if you're all set up at your daughter's birthday. So hello to the Manning family and hope you're having a wonderful time. And if it's up on the big screen, if I get a bit too much for you, you can always turn me down and keep on viewing. Hope that's not the case. So G-Man Choi, who started to find what he'd had so much as Lattimore takes off. That ball was just in the dirt, and in the process of Murphy collecting, he just lost a little handle on it, and in his wisdom decided to just eat the ball, as Lattimore was well and truly going to be safe at second base. It's Choi with the broken bat shot into left field, and Lattimore could see in his eyes he wanted to score. Certainly with the connect, he's been fielding very deep at left field. It perhaps was worth a shot, but you don't get much time to second guess yourself out there as a third base coach. Decision making crucial. So runners in the corners here for the bite. 2 out, bottom of the first. Bashini did what Bashini does best and hit a 2-run bomb in the top of the first to put 2 on the board for the Cavs. And that's what they're leading it by. As Welsh gets a middle-in fastball for strike 1. That pitch is outside for 1-1. It's been a fantastic last series here, or it has been thus far, and to have such a quality unit like the Cavalry come to town for our last series. We love our baseball. The crowds have come out as Welsh swings over the top of that one. So Holtzcombe again gets that pitch outside. Just superb location. Always going to get a hitter staring and looking at it, but that was one great pitch, and he hit the black on the outside edge and struck Welsh out, and that's no mean feat. We'll have a short break. We'll see you back here real soon. So here we are again, folks. Saturday night baseball in beautiful Adelaide. The magnificent Norwood Oval was out there pre-game, and the oval is in just ground is in just beautiful condition. That ball again is just hammered, and Welsh, wow, that is a major league play there by Stephen Welsh. Absolutely smashed around the quarter by Matavesi. One skip about 2 metres in front of Welsh, who's playing deep. And just with a beautiful glove, he snares it, whips himself around and makes the play. And that is baseball of the highest quality, folks. And as a hitter, you think, wow, I can't hit him any better than that, and he sure can't. Bit of good stuff by the Canberra management, just giving a few guys a bit of a run to keep everyone fresh and in form. As Callaway has 2 balls, no strikes as his count. Mildren delivers again. Leaves a pitch up for ball 3. Two wins and 6 losses this season, Mildren. ERAing at about 5.5. A man that's performed on all stages and was just really struggling with his mechanics this season. Having a chat with him, he's such a lovely, honest man. No offence taken, he just knows that he's just a little bit off. He can't exactly work out what the little hitch is. He's been working hard. Maybe it is just a simple thing of just that he needs to throw a lot of innings and be a real workhorse. And he walks Callaway. Got the Cavalry boys in again tonight, boys and girls. Good dozen or 15 of them. Got the Connect 4 tops on, a few of them. And straight back at the pitch, a possible double play. Mildren to Creswell. I can assure you, you will not see that very often. Superb feed by Millie. In the process of receiving, he dropped the ball, or didn't receive it. quite well enough. So it all works for the Cav. The Cavs, they now have first and second with with one out. So Stovall, who ripped one to left field at his first at bat, gets a change up in the dirt for ball one. How often it happens that a pitcher that really needing a nice little boost of confidence, and certainly every opportunity given is taken, and when he feeds on a double play to his silky smooth shortstop and he drops it, it's nearly worth packing things up and heading home, because it just makes life a whole lot harder. So a 2-ball count. And Stovall. And he gets a change up, and he's just on fire tonight. He's ripped that to the centre right fence. Callaway scores. Hightower was held. And Stovall gets a stand-up double. So the red-hot Adam Bashini strides to the plate once again. And that's through the legs of catcher Adamson. So another run scores for the Cavalry. And the wheels are falling off. I got a special little treat. I got one of our little buddies here, Connor Glewis, who's 7 years old today and having a fantastic night at the baseball. And how's things going?
Okay, thanks.
And you went to the plate, I saw, with the managers for the pre-little game chat. I mean, wow, Connor, how good was that?
That was good.
What'd you like about that?
Just speaking and all that.
Did they say much out there?
Nah, didn't say much.
Not really, just said a few things.
Yeah,
and
just said a few things.
got it done, and we'll see you later.
Yep.
Good stuff. And you had a bit of a run before the game.
Yep.
And how'd you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, and the ground is beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you love your baseball, don't you?
Yep.
You've just recently been to the USA.
Yep.
How was that?
Great.
What was your favourite place?
Disneyland.
Disneyland. Well, how didn't I know you might have said that? But you've come back fully kitted up. I saw you fully suited up, and new glove, new cleats, bit of fake chewing tobacco. You got the whole gig going.
Yep. Thanks.
Well, it's lovely to have you here, and I hope you have a fantastic night and enjoy yourself.
Yep. See ya.
See ya. Yes, as I look up for a second, I see another walk, and that's probably not such a bad thing with Bashini. He has been monstrous. So always a difficult situation when your season was on the line, and maybe last night you tipped over a fraction and it might have been taken away from you, to come out the next day and really keep your chin up and give it everything you've got. And just from a couple of, and there's an excellent pick off from Mildren. His first base coach believing that that was a balk, but the lefties have been doing it for years. So Jeremy Barnes, and he hammers one around the corner, foul. So with runners in the corners here for the Cavalry and one out, Adelaide Bite would love to turn a double play and get out of here, and that ball is driven in the 6-5 hole for a base hit that scores Stovall, and this Cavalry lineup are knocking the bats over to get to the box at the moment. So Wally Marks goes out to just have a chat with Millie, and again you got a feel for him right at the moment, because with one out he gets a comebacker straight at him with a runner on first to turn a double, and his shortstop drops a perfect feed at second base, so the left-hander has to barrel on and look to wipe out this Cavalry lineup, who are really come out in a very positive attitude. Seem like all the weight is off their shoulders and they are powering away. And Mildred just not sure where that pitch was. Looked pretty good from here. Gets a ball call. Another ball hammered, and Welsh in a 5-4-3. A superb double play by the Bite. Stephen Welsh to Kate Redden to Choi, and that snuffs a really big inning out, but the Cavalry still score 3 to go to a 5-zip lead. We'll be back with the bottom of the second real soon.
After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel? Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's Roadside Rescue Service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
So welcome back, everyone. The old Bite taking a little bit of a pasting at the minute. It's only early days. Beautiful Saturday night. That pitch is outside for ball 2. Sorry, 1-1 count. So Peter Sikora just mentioning to me that there's big storms in Canberra and some damage around the place. Hope you guys are all battened up and safe and well. It's a beautiful Australia Day to everyone. We should constantly feel how blessed we are to live in such a magnificent country where there's not too much that we can't do if we want to do, and we have the desire and inclination. So happy Australia Day to everyone, and thanks Peter for your email. And as he said to us, it won't stop him from watching the coverage, and I would imagine he'd be a happy camper right at the moment. It's a great pitch. The big Holscomb, just a very, very dominant big man, and just getting some lovely tail on his fastball and really banging his fastball in as well. Very impressive.
That's perfect, Andrew. So if you can remember that, stay on that line, run and give Chris the other one.
So Adam Cam, who was a recently released professional, sitting in a grandstand watching a baseball game in Australia when the manager Harris was teed off or tipped off. So he went up and said, "Hey, come and swing a bat." He said, "You haven't seen me swing a bat." He said, "It doesn't matter. I've seen your stats. I know the league. Come and join us." So he's doing a pretty good job for a guy that was in holiday mode, playing a little bit of first base, but generally in the DH slot. As Holcomb gets that down and in. A 2-2 count. 1 out, bottom 2. Cavalry jumped out the gates. They got a 5-zip lead as Cam picks a walk. From Adelaide's perspective, it makes it a pretty simple equation. The first base coach nearly put his hands in his pockets, and the boys bring their bats to the batter's box and start banging some shots. And he gets down and in for ball 1. So Adamson again from Holscomb, and he likes to look at that fastball down the middle and fouls it off onto Cooper's Hill. So things are drawing to a close in this ABL season, but boy oh boy, it's gone right down to the wire, and he crashes that to the shortstop hole. And he forces Cam out at second base with a lovely little spin turn play. So Josh Cakebread, who's having a wonderful series, but also having a really solid season. Still a relatively young man, but been around a long time, was recognised a long time ago that he had the ability and talent and demeanour to handle this level. And he's just continued to get better. He's a very smooth little second baseman. And a dangerous left-hand hitter. And you get started up with a 3-ball count, 3-0. 2 out. Runner on first. Holdscombe delivers. And he just misses outside. He walks Kate Brett. I see the mullet flapping around down there of Murphy. Just having a couple of words to say. A little bit unsure of that call. So 0-1 count. Holds comes again. And there's that tailing fastball that gets Creswell just swinging through it. That little cutter, very difficult pitch because it comes straight down. And then in the last 5 metres or so, it just tails away. It's a high quality pitch and get a lot of people out. And he comes again. Bounces that one. Bit of a Mark Hutton lookalike, John Holdscombe. Mark Hutton from Adelaide and was a Yankees signing. Ended up playing for a few clubs. And he possesses a couple of lovely World Series rings in his little makeup bag. So they blow the bite away in the bottom of the second. No score to them. And a big 5 to the Cavalry. Short break. We'll see you in a moment.
Cavalry in the top of the 3rd innings.
So welcome back everyone, top 3. It's a pleasure of mine to introduce Chris Coleman to the commentary booth here, Chris, and you travelled all the way over from Canberra and here you are barracking on for your beloved Cavalry.
Been a great start.
Yeah, been a wonderful
very
start
happy with
for
how
him.
it started, yeah. Now, look, last year when we had to rack up that late win against Melbourne, first pitch comes, Connect gets it, ground ball to shortstop, we'll be at it first easily. Oh, ball throw goes short, he's off the bag, and is called safe. Oh, there we go.
Well, I've got to say that I've seen a routine double play go to Creswell, and he made a boggle of it, and he's just thrown one in the dirt on a routine 6-3. So I'm not sure what's going on with Cressy. I haven't seen him make 2 errors for a long time.
Is it hard for the guys tonight, bearing in mind that the season is effectively done for them, and now it's Canberra stats that are at stake here? There's nothing really on offer for your guys now?
Well, that could be the case, but as Connect takes off first pitch and arrives safely at second, so a stolen base to Connect. Yeah, that may be the case, Chris, but this team has been through so many ups and downs this year, and one thing they've tried to remain constant is their effort. And look, it's most unlike him because he's an absolute true pro, Creswell. And he's just such a lovely kid, and he's got such a great demeanour. I can't really give you a reason, but here we are. And for a guy like Mildren, who's really been battling a little bit this season, to get a comebacker on a double play and have it dropped at second base and then have a bomb hit off him, it's pretty much just been about the way his season's gone.
Yeah, and he's a better pitcher than his stats this season have shown. As we wait the first pitch here to Wells, inside for a ball. Got to say, this is my first time to your ballpark here at Norwood, and I think it's a terrific looking place. It's great, and I tell you, the crowd, I don't know whether you can give me some sort of a guess at the number as that pitch is low and outside, as to how many people might be here tonight, but my word, they make some noise.
Yeah, no, look at the on-field announcers, and I think, again, it's lovely to have a park where you're all nestled in behind the plate, and so I think we're a little blessed with that. And look, it's been the venue for 50 odd years here at Norwood Oval, and the diamond was located more in the pocket, a little to the left of where it's situated at the moment, but they swung it around to try to bring Cooper's Hill into play a little bit, and it really hasn't done any harm. And they've got the ground looking fantastic, considering it is a footy ground and it does mud up a little bit through winter. But no, look, it's wonderful. And there's a ground ball to Wells. Creswell checks Connect at second base, and you could say in a little way that he's got the yips at the moment, because he was very cautious with his throw and he drew Choi off the bag, but he was able to receive and get back and make the out on Wells. But yeah, poor old Jeremy would like to just get back to the bench at the moment and have a little reset, I would imagine.
Yeah, if there's a bloke though that you're going to take your time with the throw across the diamond from 6-3 on, it is Wells. He's not renowned for his speed around the diamond. I don't think you mind me saying that. He turned 40, I think, last week, but it's great to see him still out there. As the next pitch comes, big swing, no connection. But yeah, very, very exciting time for us in Cavalry land with Josh Matavesi in the box. But very exciting time for us in Cavalry land. And I know Adelaide have been there. Ground ball to third. They hold Connect at second and across. And again, the throw a bit high, but it does pick up the out on a 5-3. But I know you guys have been there, but for Canberra, our first time into postseason baseball, I did get a chance to have a very quick chat with a few of the Canberra boys. There's a lot of big smiles down there at the moment. Because bear in mind, we finished last year on a horrendous tiebreaker situation, and finished last in the first season, which I don't think anyone was terribly surprised by, but given how little time there was to put the Canberra team together for that first season of the ABL. So there's a real sense of excitement around the Cavalry camp at the moment.
No, I'm absolutely wrapped for you, Chris. And look, you've built a nice squad, and it's one thing to have a bunch of guys coming from a lot of different spots, etc., and a few locals thrown in, and but you still got to come together, and this game is a team game played in an individual environment, but you still need to gel and mould together. And your bullpen are very proud, and they've done a great job, and you've got a couple of absolute stars, and in Bashini and Murphy behind the dish. I mean, you really, it seems to be a lovely mix, and the boys are playing together. And I even I know it sounds silly, but looking and their respect at the national anthem, and they all stood strong as a group, and you know, it just little things. And I thought, wow, this group's on target, and they've definitely been one of the better teams all season. I'm so happy that they've been able to, you know, pick themselves up a little bit after a little bit of a glitch a couple of weeks ago, as that ball's flowing out to Roger at right field, and he takes the catch, retires the Cavalry. We finally get a goose egg on the board. So yeah, I could imagine that you guys are just absolutely just can't wait for this to finish now and get into some playoff stuff.
I'll be honest, I'm rapt that we've got the playoffs. Am I being greedy by now saying I hope we're not playing next week? I really do hope that we get to host the Championship Series, because no offence to Sydney, where they have the Olympic Diamond. I've been up there a couple of times, and it is a terrific place. I actually worked at that venue in the 2000 Olympics, so it was great to get up there at the start of this season. But I reckon we've got the best looking diamond in the field, especially on the TV. When you get onto high def TV under the lights there, it is terrific. And I've actually annoyed the in Canberra tonight, I believe, and to all the fans in Canberra watching, enduring some pretty nasty weather. Thank you very much for tuning in, because it is absolutely bucketing down in Canberra. They've had to cancel the Australia Day fireworks.
Yeah.
So I've put a suggestion on Twitter, and to all the Cavalry fans on Twitter, please get on board and annoy Andrew Barr MLA and say, as you've had to cancel the fireworks, how about relocating them to the fort for when the Cavalry playoff post-season games are on? Just getting them to a quick idea up and running there, because they've got the fireworks, they've paid for them, they might as well use them somewhere good.
Well, why not, mate? No, let's hope that your team can produce their own fireworks, but no, that would be wonderful. And it's really good to hear from a few of our friends in Canberra, Anthony and Katie, listening in and enjoying things. So yes, no doubt you're happy with the score.
Indeed. Well, Anthony's a great story too. Anthony has joined me as the co-commentator on the Charge TV feed during the course of the season, and has started off the season. I don't think he'd ever called a game of baseball in his life, and has come on board and has been absolutely terrific this year. And it's been great to have him on board. And I know he'd love more than anything else to be here, but I know also he'd love more than anything else to be at post-season baseball in Canberra. So we'll be very, very excited in there. High and inside. Holdscombe's an interesting creature. I don't know how much you've seen of John Holdscombe playing through the course of the season. I mean, 6'9", so you know that always poses problems for batters. His pitching wind-up and stance has changed a lot. At the start of the season, he'd stand on the mound where he is now, and he'd lean forward, almost bending 90 degrees at the waist in there to get the signal off the catcher. And I think the Cavalry coaching staff have beaten that out of him. As Lodge goes high, this is going out towards Callaway in right field, who takes it comfortably. Went up higher than I thought, that one.
It did. There's a bit of drifting wind.
But Holdscombe, so they've got that out of him. But something to watch for. You'll see him later in the game as he goes into his stance. He'll wiggle the fingers on his pitching hand. And Anthony and I have seen him play a lot here. That he is. We think that's when he's getting tired. So when you start seeing that, you'll see Tubby Collins, the coach, will be looking to change him on the mound as he comes to the next pitch. Lattimore puts this, again, high ball out to right field, not as high as the previous, and Callaway takes two catches on two successive pitches for 2 down.
Screaming line drive there by Lattimore, just nailed that ball directly to Callaway at right field. He did not have to move a muscle, and it's not easy out there at this time of the night. You've got the sun setting, and you can see the right side of the diamond still in a bit of shade and a bit of sunlight. And so we saw both first basemen just shading their eyes from a little glitch of sun. So it's a little bit off-putting on the right side for about another 20 minutes. And then it just all perfect conditions. But you're right, this big fella really quite impressive. And obviously, as far as pitches go, and if you could grab a mould, this is just about your mould. A big boy, throws the ball hard, bit of tail on his fastball. And yeah, I looked at his stats and he's very handy. So he's been working as a starter for the Cavalry this year. Yeah,
started off the season with Team New Zealand in their run for the World Baseball Classic. Came over, didn't pitch against the Cavalry, pitched against the Blue Sox in the New Zealand exhibition game. So started the season late with the Cavalry. As he goes with the next pitch to Choi, that's... Oh, he must have been a little outside. And I'll leave it at that. But yes, I started the season late with the Cavalry. Has been up and down. The problem John has is that if the fastball, if he doesn't feel it's working, he'll try and be cute. He'll try and throw breakers and curveballs, and that's not his game. He's a big man, 6'9", as Choi gets the walk. Big man, 6'9", and can really. I haven't seen him against a radar gun, but I'd be surprised if there's much change out of a buck.
No, well, definitely some of his early pitches, he really had something on them, and you know, as you can see by such a big unit, it's one thing to be large, but you've also got to have your mechanics correct and be nice and flexible, and he certainly works nicely to the plate. As Choi picked a walk.
Most of my viewing tonight's been from side on as the next pitch comes, and again is low and outside on Welch. And by the way, he's a nice bloke too, Stephen Welch. Spoke to him a couple of times on ABC Strike Zone this year, and over from Florida. Who was he? He played for Bradenton over there in Florida. And if this kid doesn't wind up being a major league star, I don't know what'll happen. He really does have huge potential.
Absolutely. Look, it's been a long journey for him, and as it is for all young baseballers plying their trade through the minor leagues, and he's now into AA, and again, there's so much to like about him, and he's believe it or not, he can't get a gig at third base over there. He's really a first base type. But he's really improved his hitting. He's got a lot more pop out of his bat, and but he's got the demeanour, and he's certainly got the attitude. He just doesn't get down on himself, and really that's probably one of the biggest battles that all baseballers certainly offensively have to contend with is themselves most of the time. So yeah, he's a terrific young lad, and you know, we wish him all the best and hope like crazy that one day we will see him in the major leagues.
I'd be surprised if he didn't. He just has, and I don't want to use the cliche, but he really does tick all the boxes, and he's got the right attitude as well. So you know, I'm sure you'll see that in there as well. What else was I going to say about Holdscombe though? All my watching of Holdscombe this season has been from a position like this behind home plate. Tonight, the bite have very graciously thrown me in a vacant corporate box, which is very comfortable. So I've actually been watching him from side on, from outside the third base line, and I've got a whole new appreciation for his speed. There really is a lot of pace on it. As he goes with this one, Welch swings, checks the swing. Did he go? No, he didn't. And he gets the walk. So runners on 1 and 2. Now this is where things can get interesting for John Holdscombe as a pitcher. When he's walked 2 in a row, and we've seen this before. In fact, I think we've seen him walk the bases loaded and even give up a run on that. So this is where he could get a little cute and try and throw some breakers and some curveballs. And if he does that, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, especially with a batter like Roger, who, we saw him do all sorts of damage to Cavalry pitchers.
Yeah, in an unbelievable series, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was player of the week. After that series, he really had a couple of absolute amazing series, but he's tapered off a fraction, but he gets a fastball and he puts a nice swing on it, and he fouls it into the Cavalry dugout. We've got a nice email here from Joe from Bateman's Bay, who's been one of our regulars, and he's saying there's also a bit of weather around there, and broadcast is coming in loud and clear, and another go Cavs, which is fair enough. And you've got a lot of great supporters out there, mate. They've been lovely in keeping us up to speed with a few things that we needed to hear, and as I said, I'm sure you're all sitting there and just waiting with bated breath to get things rolling.
Well, it really is sweating now, whether we play next week or the week after. Roger leaves one high.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting concept, obviously, with the first just going straight through and second and third to play off and challenge them. So, I mean, even for us, we'll be tuning in, obviously, with Canberra and Sydney both doing wonderful internet streaming. So for everyone out there, you just jump onto the baseball club's website, and you can no doubt click your way through and watch the game live. And Perth obviously also a little bit presumptuous maybe with Perth at the moment, but something major would have to go wrong for them not to fill that last slot, I think.
Well, one loss to Melbourne, and it all changes for them, although I think Perth leading. Here we go. So Holdscombe's walked the bases. No, he hasn't walked the bases loaded. I thought he had. Perth, one loss to Melbourne. and yeah, it all gets very, very interesting. Although last I checked, Perth were leading Melbourne. I think it was 3-1 over there in the West, and the game is running right now. So you'd think Perth are in the box seat, but Brisbane may be able to snatch it. Of course, Brisbane play tomorrow, and we've seen all sorts of wacky and bizarre things. 4-1, thank you very much. So 4-1 the lead to Perth. We've seen all sorts of wonderful things happen late in the season here. Roger fly ball into foul territory.
Heads up, coming down.
Oh, I haven't seen the Cavalry bench run so fast in quite some time.
Well, they're keeping warm, and that one, the most amazing movement of the baseball, which we all know that it will always, a pop fly will always come back into the field of play, and that was way over the boys sitting out in front of the bench, and it ended up coming and dropping right in between them and scurrying a couple of them. It's Holzcombe, and Roger again, he gets the middle out and he pounds it foul down the right field line.
So looking at, if you're Holzcombe pitching at Roger now, you'd be looking low and inside, wouldn't you? Is that's where you'd be going?
Definitely, he's not so much swings a long bat, but he definitely a middle out type of guy to get his real pop and power. And you're right, and early that's where Holzcombe was very effective. He threw a couple of heavy fastballs in against a couple of hitters. And he gets one in, and Roger chops it foul. So I'll leave a bit of my prying till tomorrow, when you're going to spend a little bit more time with us and have a little bit more of a casual outlook and be more professional with me. Right at the moment, I know you've got some buddies here and you're having some fun, and we don't want to take up too much of your time. You can rejoin and relax. You do a lot of hard work through the season. It's nice to have a night off and just enjoy yourself.
And well, I think I can say, if you think of the name of the ground, I'm enjoying the sponsor's product as Roger strikes out. And not happy with himself there either. Flings the bat over towards the dugout, and the Cavalry once again. Holzcombe escapes from a little bit of a jam. And heading into the top of the fourth, it is Canberra 5, Adelaide 0 here at Cooper's Oval. But Stella, I will certainly come up tomorrow and join you for a couple of innings if you'd love to have me along, and I'm happy to take any questions. And if I can't answer them, I'll make up something that sounds good. How's that sound?
Well, you are a true pro, so we look forward to it tomorrow, Chris, and we'll see you up here at some stage tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining us.
Cheers. Thanks very much for having me on board.
So surprise, surprise, Cody Hightower leads off for about the 100th time over this weekend, just by pure coincidence, as the Cavalry look to bang a couple more on the board and take a real dominant early lead as Hightower smacks one into centre right. Roger didn't quite get the right track on it, and it flicked off his glove and back to the fence. So a stand-up double for Cody Hightower to lead the fourth off for the Cavalry. And we've got PMAC tuning in. Always great to hear from you, champion. You finish your broadcast duties behind the camera for the day, and you're tuning into us, which is a wonderful thing. And I know you were looking to have a bit of a muck around with Chris. He'll be on deck here tomorrow, so you can tune in and give him a bit of ribbing if you wish. But he's off to have a few little frothies and enjoy himself. It was great to have him up here. It's always great to speak to all of our co-telecasters around the country. We all do a terrific job. We try our best to give the fans as much coverage as we can. So it was a real pleasure to have Chris Coleman up here with us. And we'll have him again tomorrow for all you Cavs. So Mildred to Stovall. He gets one straight back at him. He takes, receives, and he puts one in the dirt to Choi that he has to pick it out and make what was a routine play look extremely difficult. So the Adelaide Bite looking like they're in need of a little EPO. They're just a little bit off at the moment. And it's well and truly showing they're letting their pitcher down by not being able to make a routine double play and a routine ground ball. And it's really mounted some pressure on the Bite and certainly on the starter Mildred. He has a 1-1 count on a man I hope we'll be hearing a lot more of, Bashini, and he's gone for a massive swing. Lodge at left field comes right in to support shortstop Creswell and calls him out and takes a major league pop fly by Bashini, who's seeing him like a watermelon. It's great to hear Chris's feedback about Norwood Oval. What's such a lovely venue and really in some freakish way designed for baseball. As that ball by Barnes is hit to left field. Lodge gets a one hopper. Hightower was high-towering it for home, and in the process of Lodge trying to throw him out at the plate, he lost handle of the ball and dropped it. So Hightower scores on a base hit to Barnes, and this Cavalry offense continues to rock and roll. Ball bounces off the chest plate of Adamson, and a breaker in the dirt. And Jack Murphy, just as a catcher goes, and the physique, just a very, very strong man, quite tall, and he pops that one up. Second base going back, takes the catch. Cakebread takes a little pop fly from Murphy, and that retires a Cavalry at the top of the fourth. We'll have a short break. We'll see you in a sec.
After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel. Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's Roadside Rescue Service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
So here we are again, Saturday night in little old Adelaide for the Adelaide Bite versus the Cavalry, game 3. 1 apiece at the moment, and that one for the Cavalry said, boys, you're coming on into the playoffs, and they are tickle pink. And they're playing like it at the moment. They've got a 6-zip lead, the bottom of the 4th. And the Adelaide Bite looking like they're a team already on holidays. And they need to shape things up a little bit and reward their fans. We've got 12 or 1,500 in. We've got a fantastic crowd. And we deserve to see the team pulling out stops. I got my little under-13 group in here from the Glenelg Tigers. And at the moment, the Bite are showing them how not to play, which is not what I want. And there's Big Holdscombe. Still banging away out there with a 2-2 count on lead-off Cam. And there's another good pitch. They're having a bitch and a whinge, but that pitch looked good enough on 2 strikes. It's about time they start making some adjustment. That's the 4th pitch that's been called there. And the bitching should stop. And the professionalism should start taking over. Make some adjustments. And Holscombe starts Adamson up and in, ball 1. It's a ground ball and goes foul. Just couldn't curl around that third base, but Barnes was all over it anyway, so it would have been a boom boom to first. Or a bang bang, whichever way we'd like to call it. So this big man from the Cavalry, as Adamson tries to get one up the middle, Bashini rolls around, takes it, throws him out at first.
The second baseman, number 6, Josh Cavalry.
So the Cavalry on their way to the playoffs, and the Bite playing for sheer pride. They need to start knuckling down to get back into this game. They've been tight contests. There's no reason why this one shouldn't be any different, but the Cavs came out swinging, and the Bite came out as if they'd woken up half an hour ago. Never an easy thing when your season apparently is done and dusted. But again, we're talking about professional athletes, and there again we've got people whinging about a call that was reasonable. And when he hits a similar spot, maybe a tad up. Oh, and that pitch was 4 inches further out than the previous call, which he didn't make, and he makes that one. And now I can understand a little bit of the frustration. We'll have a short break. We'll see you back here soon. Cavalry lead it 6-0. So welcome back, everyone. Top of the 5th. Strike 1 on lead-off connect. Mildren tries to get a change up in there. Second pitch, he misses. So 1-1. Mildren leaves that one up and out. So 2-1 count here on lead-off connect in the top of the 5th. With the Cavalry steaming. That ball's flowing out right field. Hit long and deep. And it is gone. Connects. And hits a solo bomb to lead the top of the 5th off for the Cavalry. And wow, this is looking miserable here at Adelaide Oval. Norwood Oval, I'm sorry for the Adelaide bite. But wow, the Cavalry are really up and they are running. That ball's hit hard around the corner to Welsh, and he makes a good play to retire Wells. That's how the Cavs are going at the moment. They're going first pitch, any pitch. They're seeing it. They know they've drawn blood on the pitcher, and they're sensing it, and they're just all over him at the moment, trying to bang him off the mound. There's a bit of activity in the pen with young Tim Day doing some preparatory work. Matavesi, who has a big hack at that. He is a big unit. Looks like he was made by a Cooper. Built like a barrel, the big fella. And wow, he had a big woof at that. 1-1 count, 1 out. Mildren delivers. Gets it in on Matavesi. I think he thought that maybe I'll take it that it hit me, but no, why would I? I am here to hit. That is my job in the DH slot, and he gets another pitch, and that's down low. So a 3-1 count on Matavesi as Mildren delivers. Gets it outside and he walks him.
Right fielder, number 28, Antonio Callaway.
Callaway pops that up. Dangerous little ball. Roger had a good read on it and a good track. Cut in front of centre fielder Lattimore, which you don't see too often. But just with the fly to the ball, and it was a right ball for the right fielder to take, and he made a good decision, took the catch. So very unusually, Hightower comes up in the middle of a dig here. He's somehow hit the lead-off slot on an amazing amount of occasions, and Mildren gets a change-up over for 1-1. This time he gets a bit of potential RBI action. and he's been good, really good. Double at his last at bat, and he hammers one right side. He gets it through Choi. Matavesi got those little wheels going. Half kidded himself about rounding and going to 3, but he was held up before he got to the base. And Coach Harris coming to the mound for a chat, and that, I would say, would be the end of Mildren. We'll take a short break. We'll see you in a moment.
Hi, I'm Kelly and this is Mark, and we are now Energy Smart.
We sure are.
We've recently updated our old ducted air conditioner with a duct air Energy Smart system.
And that meant we didn't have to replace our old air conditioning unit.
And now it works like a dream. It's super quiet and it saves us a ton of money.
An Energy Smart delivery system can save up to 45% on running costs and make your system perform the way you want.
And now I can use my air conditioner whenever I want.
Now that's Energy Smart.
So Tim Day's done his preparatory work. He starts things up with a little change piece for a strike. Only a young man, spent some time at college in the States, making his first hometown appearance for the Adelaide Bite, and comes out with his team trailing by 7, and the Cavalry bats smoking hot. So he's got a big job on his hands. 2 out, runners on first and second. Stovall has been superb facing him. He gets a fastball through him. Went a little bit back to front there, started him up with a couple of change-ups, and then buzzed a fastball by him, which was a good piece of pitching by Tim. There's a breaking pitch outside that eludes Adamson. So both runners journey 90 feet further to their destination. So a 2-2 count. Another opportunity for the Cavalry to put a score on the board. And that pitch is out and he walks Stovall and he brings Bashini to the batter's box with loaded deuces and 2 out. And PMAC, I've got your email here, and thank you very much for it. A couple of things on there that I'm sure Peter will have a chat to you about, and we'd be more than happy to offer anything we can. And thanks for the update too, saying Perth are 6-1 up in the bottom of the 5th, so they're doing all the right things to secure their spot, as you would imagine. The back-to-back champions of this league. We've gone through some personnel changes, but still a mighty fine side. Bashini gets a fast ball in and he swings through it. And Day comes again, a breaking pitch. There's a little punch of his glove. He wasn't happy. He left it up and Bashini was on it, but just fouled it over the backstop. It's what's commonly called a hanging curveball, and he was nearly dealt a big blow. So he comes again. I think in his reluctance to throw one down the pipe, he's just hoiking him outside. And he prepares to deliver again to Bashini, a breaking pitch. He just leans on it and strokes one to centre field. But the catch is taken there by Lattimore, and that retires the Cavalry in the top of the 5th. They are 7-0 leaders, and they are getting the job done. We'll have a short break. We'll see you in a moment.
Hi, I'm Kelly and this is Mark, and we are now Energy Smart.
We sure are.
We've recently updated our old ducted air conditioner with a duct air Energy Smart system.
And that meant we didn't have to replace our old air conditioning unit.
And now it works like a dream. It's super quiet and it saves us a ton of money.
An Energy Smart delivery system can save up to 45% on running costs and make your system perform the way you want.
And now I can use my air conditioner whenever I want.
Now that's Energy Smart.
So Holscomb rolling on for the Cavalry. Probably just getting warm, the big fella. Bit fresher here than it has been in recent times. And that little cutter that he's throwing is causing some serious issues for the bite hitters who are swinging at pitches that are ending up balls, but out of the hand it looks pretty good, and he's fouls that one off onto Cooper's Hill. Jeremy just struggling with his timing at the moment. You can see his weight transferring out of the box as he just lifts that to shallow right field. That's trouble. And that is a great attempt by Callaway. Ended up taking it on the half volley in a full stretch dive. And that ball was perfectly located by Creswell on a pop fly. It eluded everyone. But a terrific effort by the very speedy Callaway at right field. But a base hit to Creswell. So Holscomb starts lodge up with a fastball in the dirt that Murphy controls, keeping Creswell at first base. All those little things that all add up to making the complete package. Lodge takes a fastball in for ball 2. He gets a pitch in that he swings around. Strike 1. And he bangs that ball up the middle. It lands. So a base hit to Lodge. As the Bite look to rally their way back into this game.
Now batting number 28, centre fielder Quincy Lattimore.
So Joe from Bateman Bay is baiting the hook, saying to PMAC, the Summer of Baseball team, better start booking some accommodation in Canberra for the series. There is a little ha-ha-ha alongside of that, PMAC, so don't be all in jest and good fun, mate. But I'm sure the Blue Sox won't mind getting on the road, and certainly the boys from the Summer of Baseball will be right behind them. So with none out here in the bottom of the 5th, the very dangerous Lattimore gets a pitch up and in for ball 2. And the Adelaide Bite hitters are doing what they should have set out to do and make this kid throw some pitches. And he rips that one around the corner, hits it too hard to score Creswell, who could only advance to 3rd, but that loads the bases. And it brings big G-Man Choi to the plate. But Tubby Collins is just going out to have a little word with his starter. So the Adelaide Bite are mounting something, and the crowd are loving it. Right behind things here. Shout out to our great mate in Melbourne, if he's listening, Johnny Beach, who runs his Marshall Batteries franchise over there, and a great sponsor of the 10th inning. I hope you're fit and well and happy, as we hope that all the people throughout the world and Australia are. No favourites, just for Beachy.
Number 47, first baseman, G-Man Joy.
As you would have heard from our field announcer, that Choi, and he goes first pitch, and he goes a little inside out. A diving attempted catch there by centre fielder Stovall, but it lands. So they plate a runner and get on the board for their first run.
Number 22, your third baseman, Stephen Welch. We have a pitch runner at first base, G-Man Joy leading the ball game.
Very interesting that Choi leaves the game at such a crucial moment. And Troy Wiener comes in to run for him as Holscomb comes again, and Welsh goes first pitch with the bases bulging, with none out here. Bottom 5. Adelaide Bite looking to get something going. And he hammers that ball straight away. And a boom, boom at the plate. And he's called out. That ball was absolutely screamed to Callaway at right field. A line drive. Lodge thought he'd have a crack at a tag at a go, but Callaway followed up the catch with a fine one bounce throw to Murphy, and the big man covered the plate, received and made the tag. To say, nice try, Lodgy. You'll have to be a little bit quicker than that. So Holscomb with plenty of run support, able to knuckle down again and get the job done for his team. A little bit of action in the pen. Eric Massingham doing a bit of early work in preparation. So we might be seeing the end of Holscomb at the completion of the 5th here. He's got one more out to go, and the runners on first and second. Roger takes a pitch. Wow. All of these pitches hammering around the zone. For the 2-1 count. And he delivers again. Roger hits safely. Lattimore is very quick, gets sent home. He will score. So a base hit RBI single to Angus Rozier. Bottom 5. Adelaide Bite rallying with 2 runs, but need to keep it going. So Adam Cam takes it. Nicely located fastball outside for strike 1. Runners still in first and second for the Bite with 2 out, and he bangs one to second base. Bashini, nice little routine 4-3 to close this 5th inning out. Adelaide Bite whack a couple on. They still trail 7-2. We've got a big crowd of kids out there tonight with their run. And we'll get Pete to follow the kids as they do their 6th inning diamond dash from right field to left field. So manager Harris airs out the bench a little bit here for the Adelaide Bite. Choi having a rest and Roger comes into first base. Troy Wienert goes out to right field and Jackson Brebner-Russ replaces Adamson behind the dish. So a few little changes and give the rookies a chance. We've got a youngster on the mound, a youngster behind the dish. Roger's only a young man at first. Wienert's young at right field. The pivots are young with Kate Bread and Creswell. Steph Welsh is not an old fella, and Ben Lodge still a very young man out there at left field. So the future of the Adelaide Bite on show here for everyone. And I've got a very special guest who's going to join us for a little bit of a chat. Now, I'm a massive racing fan, and I've got Claire Lindop with me, who is a female jockey of the greatest ilk, and a stable rider here for the McDonald Lewis stable, and we share a good mate in Andrew Lewis. So welcome, Claire.
Thank you for having me on, Andrew. Yes, through Andrew Lewis, as you just mentioned, I've been out to the Glenelg Baseball Club. I vote for the Tigers, and through obviously Nathan Davison as well, I've come out to the Bite a few times, and I really enjoy coming out to the games.
Well, it's great to have you here. It's a real pleasure, I must say, because as I said, being a racing fan, jumping up on those big thoroughbreds and travelling at vicious speeds
about 70 kilometres an hour we go.
Would be something pretty damn
600
special.
kilo thoroughbreds, so yeah, it can be pretty amazing. It's a great job.
Yeah, and I've followed your career greatly, and you're a real leader for female riders. And to see Leanne Stojanovic ride Miracles of Life, was it today?
Lauren.
Sorry, Lauren.
That's okay. Yeah, she was really proud. I'm actually really proud of the girls in South Australia at the moment. There's about probably 12 girls riding regularly.
And that catch, just a beautiful catch taken there by Josh Cakebread at second base, going back over his head and denying Murphy of a base hit. But yeah, and you obviously are a bit of a role model for a lot of these girls.
Well, I have been. I've been riding since I started in my apprenticeship in 1994, and I've been riding obviously for a long time now. I'm 33 now, and I started riding for the McDonald Lewis stable in 2003, and that's probably when my career has taken this big leap into the big time, I guess, when I got the ride on in the Melbourne Cup in that year on their horse Devon.
And you've had another ride in the Cup too, have you?
I've ended up having 3 rides in the Melbourne Cup so far. I'd like to say that I still like to have ride in the Melbourne Cup again.
Absolutely.
It's probably the biggest race, obviously, in our calendar. But
I'll tell us a little bit about it, Claire, because obviously it is the race that stops the nation, and to be part of that as the jockey on a horse in the Melbourne Cup against international riders and obviously international horses and just first class race must be one great thrill.
Oh, it's an amazing race. It's something in racing that it's also very much an Australian race. I have competed overseas, and I've had English people ask me, why isn't the Derby, which is the English traditionally their best race, why isn't our Derby the best race? They don't understand why a handicap condition race like a Melbourne Cup is our best race. And that to me is the epitome of Australian. Like, anyone can have a horse that can make it to Melbourne Cup because of the handicap method. Like, obviously sometimes the best horses are weighted out of it. So, you can get a horse in the bottom with as much chance as anyone in the race. You don't have to be a sheik to own horses in the Melbourne Cup. And that to me is the epitome of Australian racing. And it really comes, like the 4 days of the Flemington Carnival, there's a real feel to Flemington, a real magic in the air, and that anyone can be there and be in these races. And the full field of 24 horses is a sight to see coming down the Flemington straight, charging at 70 kilometres an hour. So I've been part of that 3 times. As I said, the first time was for Leon McDonald in 2003. Then I rode Dolphin Joe into 5th place in 2007, and I was lucky enough to ride for Bart Cummings in 2008.
Wow, and I remember just as what you were saying about it being a handicap race, that a horse like Rogan Josh that came from basically country Western Australia, taken over by Bart, and of course the old master does his trick, and lo and behold, he takes the Melbourne Cup with that horse.
You're so right, and that to me is the beauty of it. You know, talking in Australia today about Australian racing, that's probably the epitome of Australian racing. You know, anyone can be part of that. But here in South Australia, working for Lee McDonald and Andrew Lewis, and we've got a team of about 30 odd horses, and we've had a very strong start to the season. We're on 17 winners in the city. We've had a bit of a quiet period over this Christmas time, but looking to come up to some winners again in the Adelaide Autumn Carnival, which starts on March the 10th with the Adelaide Cup.
Well, what would you expect with the boss gallivanting off to the USA with his family and going to Disneyland? And I mean, you got to be joking. No wonder the stable was a little bit slow. Hey, what do you got to say about that, Claire?
Well, I don't want to say anything too much on air, but we actually really enjoyed having a chance to show him that we could manage without him. However, we only came up with 2 winners while I was away, so the stable and myself, the staff and myself, were a bit frustrated, but we've had plenty of near chances, so we're around the place, which is great.
Did you cop a bit of a bake from Gluey, like coming home and saying, hey, where's all the winners? What's been going on? Am I the main man? Did I need to return to get a winner?
That's what I told him anyway. Yeah, he liked that. So
yeah.
It's been good to have him back, actually. Andrew Lewis, he's probably one of the... he's really the driving force behind the stable. Leon's the front man, and Andrew does all the work in the stables and in home. And it's a bit like the way he coaches baseball, is in the background. But, he coaches the young boys out at Glenelg Baseball Club, and their team's just thriving because of him, I think.
No, you did right. And I tell you what, the 10th inning here, we're going from feast or famine. I've got one of the greatest riders in Australia with me, and one of our greatest soccer players, and now coach of the wonderful United in John Cosmina, we've only got 2 microphones, so we've got to share things here, John. But
Andrew, I'm happy to pass you over to John. He's a lot more well-connected than me, and the Adelaide soccer team, Adelaide United, is absolutely flying at the moment, so I'll definitely pass it over to him. Good on you, John.
Claire, thanks very much for coming up and joining us. It was just a real pleasure to have you.
Designated winner, number 43, Josh Matamisi.
So how's things going, John? I know that we were on fire and we're having a little bit of a spell at the moment, but you're not having a real lot of luck with injuries, I must say.
No, injuries weren't bad. They're not bad. They were minor. But enough to keep players out for 2 or 3 weeks, and it just takes the edge off things a little bit, especially when your form's a little bit off like ours is at the moment. But look, we got Marcello Carus came back in for about 15 minutes yesterday and did well. Bruce Chatte, who's just downstairs now watching the game. Bruce, he's had a really hard session this morning. He'll be back in again Monday, and maybe not available for the game against West Sydney next Sunday, but certainly the week after against Melbourne Victory. And we got Fabio Ferreira. He's still recovering from osteitis. It'll be a few more weeks. So we're getting players back.
I've got to say, and when you had such a great start to the season, it gives you perhaps that little bit of freedom to err on the side of caution and get these guys right, because you've got some big fish to fry.
Yeah, we have. We've got a tough few games ahead. West Sydney next Sunday, and Melbourne Victory the week after, and they're both really good sides.
Yeah, and the Victory are always, a bit of our nemesis, aren't they?
But yeah, they had a good win against Sydney FC tonight, beating Del Piero.
Wow.
Down in Melbourne 3-1, so it's a great result for them. And I think they'll probably pip us for second spot now on goal difference. So we've got a bit of work ahead of us.
Yeah. Well, look, it's becoming a competition that is growing.
Yeah, it is.
And obviously, back in your day, playing, you were a Adelaide City boy or a West Adelaide?
West Adelaide initially.
Well, how does that work? I thought it was a real Greek-Italian thing, and I'm not trying to be naive with my knowledge of soccer, but you just grew up playing in a competition and ended up with West Adelaide Hellas.
No, I played at Polonia. My father's Polish. So I played at a Polish club, they're now called Croydon. And when the National League started, I went to West Adelaide because they were in the National League. So he wanted to play. It was more a little bit more professional, trained more often, and obviously travelled for away games. It was Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Canberra in those first few years.
And you had quite a bit of international experience?
Yeah, a little bit. I was with the national team for 12 years, so that was pretty good from 76 through to 88. I finished at the Seoul Olympics, so it was a nice way to finish.
So did you travel overseas and play in any European countries at all?
Yeah, we used to do trips in the old days. You'd go on a 6-week junket, I suppose, at the end of the winter season because we used to play in winter time only then. And you'd be away for a while. You go through Asia and end up somewhere in. Normally, I think we'd finish in England at some stage.
I look after some tennis courts and I have to buy some product. And lo and behold, a few months ago when I bobbed in, and a gentleman called Sergio Melter had taken over the company, and I'm buying my product from Serge, and he's such a fantastic guy. And I just remember that big woolly hair and of Serge as a guy growing up, and he's such a lovely guy, and obviously the medal named after him here in Adelaide in our local competition.
Yeah, I was speaking to Serge not long after he bought that business, and he'll make it work. It's good, but he was involved in coaching locally last season. This year he's not. I think he's concentrating on the business side of things.
Yeah.
No, Serge was a fan, and he still holds a record for the most National League games. I think he's just over 432 or something. It's a ridiculous amount.
And I'd like to, his hair's lost a little bit of that frizz.
Oh, he hasn't, but I think he's just a bit older.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's quite a unit. He's a really interesting sort of guy.
Serge,
I don't know what I was expecting, but he was a really, really nice guy.
He's a lovely bloke.
Wish him all the best in obviously his venture, and it's a bit of a step for him to break out of the soccer scene and coaching. And
he spent quite a while in England. And he's probably one of the more qualified coaches in the country.
Wow!
And he's selling tennis court products.
Yeah, exactly. And doing the line markers. But what does he help you at all, or I have not spoken to him.
I haven't spoken to him for about 4 months.
Okay, but you bumped into him just as he took the business over.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And what has it been like in the competition, seeing such stars as Del Piero and, help me with it? I know the chap from England.
Emil Heskey at Newcastle, Shinji Ono from Japan. No, look, I think Del Piero's been an asset to Sydney for sure. It's 4 goals last week, and that went viral around the world, which shows you the popularity of the sport. And especially at his age and the quality of the goals that he scored. So he's probably attracted himself some interest from Japan and other places. So he could end up, hopefully he stays in Australia. That would be great. And because he's been an asset to the game. And it just shows you he's 38, but he's lost that little yard of pace, but he's still very, very clever.
We seem to be, with our competition, making it very difficult for a head coach that needs such a strong, solid squad. And yet, of course, you put 11 on the park with a few subs, and you got guys sort of drifting in the what are they calling the secondary, the youth competition?
The youth competition.
How do the boys of such high quality sort of manage going back there and really digging and holding it together? And
they don't.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough, and look, sometimes it's harder to play at the lower levels. Doesn't matter and I remember that myself. After playing National League for 12 or 13 years, I think it was 15 years, and then I ended up playing in the local competition when I was living in Sydney. And it was only one level down, but it was such a difference in the way the game was played.
Yeah,
and it's no different with the youth league, and it is hard for a senior player to go there, but you need to go there and bear in mind that you're a professional sportsman. You get paid to play and train, and you've just got to do the same job as you would if it was a proper senior match.
And John, I might be, talking and not coming from the amount of experience I should, but with somebody like Serge, Van Dijk, when he came here 5 or 6 years ago, perhaps, and we really needed a central striker, and he did such a great job. But the speed of the game has lifted, and I'm not saying it sort of pushed Serge out, but in some respects.
I was talking to a friend of mine that's been around the game for a long time in Gosford on the weekend. And the general consensus is the speed of the game is probably the speed of the ball ball movement's picked up about 50%. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot. That's quick.
And I've seen that you've gone with different setups in your forward with using the little Geronimo as not so much a soul striker, but certainly as a real weapon up there.
Look, Geronimo, we've got to get used to playing with him, and he still has to get used to playing with us.
He scored some goals.
Yeah, he has. He's done well. He's out suspended next week, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously something within football, soccer, that with regards to, and I don't want to bring it up as a controversy, but with diving, it's something that as Aussies we watch and we cringe a little bit, but it's very much a part of the game.
Look, it is and it isn't. It's diving. For me, you can. I suppose you can really fake a foul, or you can get semi-fouled and probably make a bit more of it than would be normal. If it slows you up, you're entitled to go to ground. If there's nothing, there's no contact, and you go to ground, then it's I'm dead set against that.
And in a game where I suppose an average score would be 1 or 2 goals a game, I mean they're paramount. They're crucial.
Well, look, I've seen dives in all football codes.
Yes. Yeah,
NFL's a bit difficult, but certainly in Aussie rules, I've seen rugby league, rugby union, not so much union, but rugby league guys that make it more of a foul than there probably is in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and baseball, you're out here. I know you're a guest of the Lounders tonight, Phil and Liz, and enjoying yourself. You've been out
it's
here
great.
before?
I went to California for a holiday in June, and we went and caught a game at Dodger Stadium, and it was great.
Yeah, and you threw the first pitch.
Yeah, I actually thought I was going out the mound for a warm-up. And I got one throw, and he said, "Right, that's it."
Well, how bad's that? Because
it wasn't a bad throw, though.
It wasn't. I'm not saying the throw was bad, but say, hey, give us a chance and let me show my best. I'm here to impress, but one throw for...
Yeah, I was warming up with Fiji, and he hadn't even had a pitch yet.
He throws it all right. Fiji, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like baseball. It's good. I played a little bit at school. Never played out. I remember coming to a game here. I think I watched Australia play Japan.
Yeah.
In it would have been the early 70s.
Yes, they used to send a lot of their factory teams out and etc. They were very high class teams.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. My mates played a bit, so we had a bit of fun at school with it.
Yeah, and it's sort of the Australian Baseball League, and very much being financially supported by Major League Baseball, which is enormous for us because, again, to send a troop of 30 guys around the country and accommodate them.
It costs a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and I think they're doing an enormous job just simply to have it rolling. And I suppose the flip side to that is it creating opportunities for young men, and a few guys that have been professionally cut got re-signed. So it's been a little avenue for all sorts of young and old to resume their baseball dreams and get back to Major League Baseball in America. So I think the Major League Baseball are happy and they're committed for another couple of years. And as that ball's knocked out to centre field by a little bit of a flare by Callaway, but he picks up a base hit. So the Cavalry here are all over us at 8-2. I think last night the boys had the wind taken out of their sails and their dreams of playoffs taken away from them, and they've just come out with I don't know, maybe not as sharp as they should be, but I'm sure you've experienced that when all of your dreams are taken away from you, and it's very hard to get up the next day and go out with that same dreams and desire.
It's interesting where they've got to play. They played last night and didn't get the result they wanted, so now it's difficult.
Now it's very difficult, and the way it's going in Perth, they're beating Melbourne, and that's all they had to do, and it looks like it'll be Canberra, Sydney and Perth as our top 3 teams, with the spot still to be decided on some results still yet to go over the weekend. And what did you do in your younger days in baseball? Were you a gun shortstop or?
No, I think we used to play at school. We used to rotate. No, I used to. I never got much of a pitch because you want to win, so you got your best pitcher out there.
Yeah, well,
but you had to go on all the bases and played in the outfield sometimes. All got a hit.
It's a very popular game at school.
I think it's a good game.
Yeah, and obviously T-ball is an early introduction, and without having to face live pitching, because that's where quite a large drop-off rate is from our under-12 competition into under-14s, where they start facing live pitching. And
the ball comes a bit too quick for them?
Yeah, and of course the kids throwing aren't exactly fully
accurate,
aware of what's going on either. And
they're just trying to throw it as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And probably trying to hit the other guy, hit the batsman.
So there's some very shy boys out there, and sometimes they don't come back for a second crack. So, but still, hey, that's all the love and the of being a youth and growing up in a sport, because it doesn't matter what it is, you face challenges, and you've got to be very, mentally strong to get through those challenges and keep rolling on.
No, you have to, and that's you need that, certainly, especially later in life. Life's pretty crazy when you're a kid. That's the worst thing you got to worry about, someone throwing a baseball at you. I think that's the least of your problems.
You haven't got much to worry about.
No, it's when you get a bit older and you've got mortgages to pay and kids to feed.
So are you a full-time?
Yeah, full-time coach.
And you'd have to be.
And it takes your time as well. It's there's 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a constant. You wake up at night and think, maybe I'll try him there or do this. You just never stop thinking.
Yeah, it's on your mind all the time. You're trying to find solutions.
Yeah. And you've got a real challenge at the moment with your boys, as you said, just to get your best back on the park. But in the meantime, just try to get the system sort of holding together and get everyone on track with you. It must be quite a challenge.
Yeah, it is. It's there's constant. You're constantly thinking of different ways to keep the players focused. Little different things you try to keep them tuned into getting a result on the weekend. But I'm sort of big on what you put in through the week. You're trained to play, and if you get that part of it right and your attitude's right through the week, you'll come in good on the weekend. You can't be hot and cold during training and just switch on.
Yeah, I agree, and it really doesn't matter what sport we're talking there, because you can nearly, and that ball has been hit long and strong.
That's, I think, their third
gone.
home run, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over the fence.
And Ryan Stovall, again, has been a real engineer for his Cavalry team, and he hits a 2-run bomb. So it rolls on for the Cavalry here. They've taken a 10-2 lead. Sorry to be a little bit away from the baseball at the moment, but with a couple of incredible guests, we're just so proud to have them here, and they're a little bit more important. So we'll keep on rolling, and we'll just fill you in with the exciting things that are happening out there on the diamond as that ball. And this guy, Adam Bashini, is just leading all of the highlight reels in the competition at the moment in RBIs, home runs, and he's a very classy second baseman. And again, it's just such a pleasure sometimes to sit up here and just watch great athletes do their stuff, whether they be for you or against you. It's no doubt, like you, that as much as you're very focused on your team, to see some high-class players come into the competition and sit there and watch them, I'm sure under your breath you're thinking, wow, this guy is good.
Yeah, you do pick the good ones, and you can see that it's like you can pick a natural. Some guys just look they look like they're part of it.
Yeah.
They look like they belong.
And it's such an interesting thing when you're developing and blooding youngsters that, a good first pass or whatever it might be, just to settle a guy down and get him into the game instead of maybe making a couple of little mistakes. Our shortstop here, who's made his Australian debut for the seniors this year, and I haven't seen him make a blue all year, and he made a couple of very unforced errors, which was most unlike him. So it gets to all of us at some stage.
Yeah, it does.
Someday it's just not yours. But there's that challenge again of being able to put your head down and not let it get to you, and certainly not let it affect your team, and just step on out there and take a deep breath and rethink and get into it again. But it's, as you said, in such a fast game of soccer, you don't get much time to think about it.
No, that's where you've got to recognise situation. You've got to read the game pretty early and pick up little cues about, what things might occur.
And that ball is hit hard as well.
That's over the fence
and
as well.
That's gone. Gee, they are just lining up and coming at us at the moment. And they are putting on a clinic here, the Canberra Cavalry. We're running through our pen, and we've got Nick Hutchings, who's a youngster just signed by Pittsburgh. He's going to come out to face the music in a minute. But Bashini hits a solo bomb. He's second for the night. And it's all Cavalry right at the moment. And what a great thing it is. The Cavalry have been struggling as a franchise in the Australian Baseball League. The powers that be sat above and thought that we need to help these guys. So they allowed them 13 imports this season.
13, I heard it was 16.
Well, it might be 16. There's not too many locals, but whatever it is, it's a lot that you would know yourself to bring in a whole lot of guys from everywhere around the world. Regardless of their quality, you've got to bring them together.
Yeah, they've got to click.
Yeah, and they've done a really mighty job. They went through a little bit of a hump a couple of weeks ago, but they've got right back on track. And it just is so exciting for all of the Canberrians out there to be sitting at home with the thought that their team's heading for the playoffs. And here's another example with this Nick Hutchings, who, as I said, is only 16, 17-year-old guy, quite tall and lean, but he's got signed by Pittsburgh and just recently came back from the Australian National Championships representing South Australia in the under-18 competition. And by no means being harsh on the boy, it didn't all go to plan for him. And it goes to show that even in an under-18 competition by a boy that's been coming out here and doing a great job in the National League, didn't have a great time of it in the junior competition. So we've got a lot to look forward to in Australia. We've got a lot of young talent. And I think what we recognise about Aussies is that we're hard competitors. Hard, tough competitors. Do you find that a lot in the same in soccer, or a little bit of a mix?
Look, I know a lot of players played in Holland, Aussie guys, and the Dutch, when the doors were open more for Australian players, always liked to take Aussies because they knew they were resilient. So that's important.
And the Dutch league is a very
professional,
very one-touch professional league, isn't it?
It's a difficult competition.
They have a style.
Very technically correct.
We've been very successful in Australia, and I'd like your opinion on it. But using a couple of national coaches as Dutch, and our current coach.
Yeah, he's German, Holger Osse.
Sorry, German. And
yeah. Oh, look, I think we need that kind of influence because they've got more experience than our local guys. And that's the thing, you're working with different players that are... I mean, we're a professional sport in this country, but we're still a long way from where the leagues of Holland and Germany and France and Italy and the EPL are, for example. Or Spain, especially Spain in particular. You know, the quality of the players right across the board is so much different.
But again, you know, countries of massive population, so their options are many. Their system is terrific. And I suppose at the end of the day, it just all filters through to having incredible national competitions in those countries as well. So they have great feeding ground, and all looking forward to this next World Cup.
No, we are. I think with and hopefully Australia qualify.
Yeah, they're they were struggling to score a few goals there, but they really came good with their last couple of games.
Yeah, well, they've got two important games coming up this year, and their home games against the teams that made it difficult for us. I think Jordan was certainly one of them. We lost to Jordan, and that's the game that we've got at home. And the Arab states don't generally travel too well, so hopefully coming to Australia will give us that advantage. We need to, because we do need to qualify for Brazil. We need to keep the momentum going.
Oh, most certainly. It's
3 World Cups in a row would be a fantastic achievement.
It sure would. I mean, what seemed a dream when John Aloisi put that one in the net and got us there for the first time for a long time.
Seems like a lifetime ago. It was only not even 8 years.
Yeah, and to back up last time, and as you said, we're just stuttering a fraction, and we really need to regroup and hopefully get our sights set and grab our berth. And obviously they juggled the juggled us around a little bit in the Oceania group, and it's been a good thing for us? Or
no, I think it's great that we've gone into age where it's more competitive. It lifts the standard of the competition, so it then becomes more difficult for us to qualify. But by going through a more difficult path, we become a better team for it.
Yeah, and where are we situated with the Asian Championships that we go and play in our top teams? Where are we situated with that right at the moment?
I think this season, Central Coast and Brisbane are starting their Champions League campaigns early next month. So that will, I mean, they've got 6 games, 3 home, 3 away. I'm not sure who's in their group just off the top of my head. But it's important that we do well and get recognised as a good country, good footballing country at club level as well as international.
And how quickly things can change. I mean, Brisbane, who are just about unbeatable, are sort of semi-staggering along this season, or they're going pretty well.
It's very hard to keep that kind of momentum going. I think you can push only so hard for a while. And look, they've had a lot of changes. You know, the coach moved on. His replacements moved on after 10 games. They've lost a few players along the way as well, and I think that the impetus has certainly gone out of the team.
So I've got to say thank you very much to John Cosmina for coming up and having a chat with us. It's been a real pleasure.
No problem. I'll get a better view of the game here as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a little bit warmer than it is down where I'm sitting.
Yeah, I bet. And
it's a cool night.
I wish your team all the very best in your lead up to the finals.
Thank you.
And great having you along.
See you again.
I've just been asked by the gentleman next to me, our great Johnny, and said, who's the batter? And I couldn't even tell you, John. I've been a little bit preoccupied, and I look over at the scoreboard to try to resume my sense of this game, and I see the Cavalry doing it as they please. 11-2 up, top 7. And what a pleasure it was to have a couple of Australian icons in Claire Lindop and John Cosmina take time out of their busy schedules to come and have a chat with us. What a pleasure it was. So the Cavalry say goodbye at the top of the 7th as they pound a couple more on the board. We'll have a short break. We'll see you back. Have a good stretch. We won't be far away. This 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Fielder's Choice, official baseball store of Australian baseball. Visit www.fielders.net for all of your baseball, softball and T-ball equipment needs. Cavalry. Eric Messingham. Ben Lodge at the plate for the Adelaide Bite. Sorry, Phil Adamson, I wanted to mention to Claire, she just took off quickly that she was able to... Sorry everyone, picked up the wrong microphone and I am on fire at the moment. Fractionally overwhelmed by speaking to a couple of incredible Australian icons, but I suppose you can't please everyone, Brenton, can you? The vision was on. So we roll through to the bottom of the 7th here with the Cavalry creaming the bite 11-2. Just tuning their bats, getting their defence right, all with some very, very big fish to fry. Sorry, we broke off from our little telecast. Obviously, vision's still going. An amazing couple of Australians on Australia Day. So Massingham, Lattimore rips that one around the corner. Hightower collects it in the backhand hole, decides not to throw. So an infield hit to Lattimore.
Right fielder, Troy Wiener.
So Troy Wiener coming to the plate for one of his very few at-bats. And he has a swing and a miss from a heavy fastball by Massingham. So Massingham ERAing at 3.91. He's been pretty good again. Part of this rock-solid bullpen for the Cavalry. And he's got a 3-win, 2-loss record for the season off 17 games. And he's got a pretty good whip, which is walks and hits to innings pitched at 1.3 as they look to roll a double play, but Wiener had some good speed up the line, and Hightower collects and puts Lattimore out at second base, and Wiener scurried up the line to be safe at first. So 2 out here, bottom 7. Hope you're settling in on this beautiful Saturday night on Australia Day. Hope you've had a terrific day. And if you're a Cavalry supporter, you'd be feeling even better at the minute. So Massingham gets a curveball in the dirt to Welsh, who takes. The 1-1 count. So Grenning with a 2.87 ERA. Tola with 2.96. Loggins 2.42. Stephen Kent from minimal 2.65. And then a heap of guys around the 3, 4, 5, 6 mark. So all pretty solid and pretty deep in this bullpen. And they'll need every one of those arms if they want to take the Holy Grail. As Massingham sets and delivers again, and that pitch is outside. 2-2 count. And again with that style, as Welsh gets one pop fly directly behind, and Cavalry have made a change in the catching role. It looks like Adam Jacobs, but I will confirm that for you. As Massingham gets a nice change up, and Jacobs swoops on it and tags Welsh, but he didn't commit to a swing. So we have a full count with 2 out. Bottom of the 7th. Cavalry rolling on. Rolling. As Massingham delivers. Welsh bangs one straight back up the middle. Advances Ween it to second. That ball would have hit right up the top of the hill. So Massingham had to do a bit of fancy footwork to avoid being hit. And it slowed the ball down, but not enough for it to get on out to centre field for a base hit to Welsh.
Number 35, first baseman Angus Roger.
So Angus Roger has picked up a hit tonight, RBI single. One of the very few highlights offensively for the Bite. Faces Massingham with runners on first and second. That pitch outside for ball 1. Snatches that ball back from catcher Jacobs. Not overly happy. Another nicely rounded individual. Strong as an ox. Big bum, big legs. Generally make up of a good pitcher. So much velocity gained through the middle of the body, the core. You see a lot of pitches very strong in the rump and the legs. As Massingham delivers. Breaking pitch. Little up. Ball 2. And again, from the set, he delivers. Gets that one outside. Ball 3. Plenty on it. But not radar, just a little off tune. Bite crowd still enjoying themselves here. It's got a little bit fresh. So sent a few up into the stands. But he comes again. He gets one over. 3-1. So Massingham comes again outside. He walks Roger and loads the bases. Which brings Cam to the plate with an opportunity to light any little fuse possible and see if he can get the bite rolling with a base hit and score a couple. Jacobs goes out and has a chat with Massingham. It's been a real pleasure bringing this telecast to you this season, folks. From Peter Wyatt and myself, who spend many an hour in trying to bring as best presentation to you as possible, and all made possible with our wonderful sponsors in Marshall Batteries, their Sydney, Melbourne and Adelaide franchises. Duct Air Conditioning, a wonderful South Australian manufacturer, carbon neutral company, been running those ads in between innings, and they're offering a great upgrade, a free upgrade to their Energy Smart system on any purchase of a ducted air conditioning unit from Duct Air, of course. You'd be silly not to take advantage of it if you're in the market. As Cam gets a pitch inside that he wasn't happy about either. And it sort of seems to be the more he whinges, the tougher call he's getting. You'd think you would wake up at some stage. It's not rocket science. Men behind the mask are built with the same stuff. And that ball just a tad out for a 1-1 count. So 14 hits to 8, but an 11-2 scoreline built around some long balls by Stovall, Bashini. And pitch was down. Ball 2. So Massingham. Cam just chops that to first base. Easy put out for the Cavalry. They retire the bite. We complete 7. And we have the Cavalry at 11 and the Adelaide bite on 2. We'll have a short break. See you soon. So Marcus Connect leads off the top of the 8th for the Cavalry. As Nick Hutchings continues his work for the bite. And he comes again and he misses outside for a 3-1 count on lead off Marcus Connect. And he gets that one up and in for a 3-1 count. So Connect picks a walk, lead his side off in the top of the 8th. And with the Adelaide number 2 starter, Shunji Kim, who copped a comebacker last week in Melbourne, flush in the chin, didn't see it at all, and it's really shaken him up, and with nothing on the line here for the Adelaide bite, he opted out of this series so he can go home and get ready for his professional duties, which is fair enough, but we've missed him. He became a quality starter, and I'm sure things might have been different if he could have taken the ball in game 2 yesterday, but not to be. No good looking backwards. Right at the moment, we're looking at our future with a very young lineup out there for the bite, and a terrific thing to see from manager Harris. And Hutchings just can't make an adjustment with that pitch at the moment. He keeps throwing it to the same spot, 6 inches outside. Got to redirect that front leg and go to the plate. And he throws another one outside. And he walks wells.
Ladies, if we can have the attention of all the ladies, please, for just a moment. If you went to the bathroom and left something rather valuable in the bathroom, and you can describe it and its contents, we might be able to return it to you. So if you come up to the announcing area, please, if you left something in the bathroom rather valuable, and you'd like it returned, please come up to the announcing area, please.
So Matavesi facing young Nick Hutchings, and he's not coming out the way he would like things at the moment.
Don't forget, folks, the silent auction ends at the end of this half inning. So if you want to get a bid in quickly, get over there. The table is right behind the white dugout. Silent auction ending soon.
So Hutchings, Matavesi, he gets a high pitch that Matavesi thought, I've had enough. I'm swinging at anything. And so he did. So with a 1-2 count, runners on first and second for the Cavalry, none out. They look to inflict some more damage, and he punches one out to right field. There's a little boggle out there by Wiener.
Quick reminders, remember the silent auction ends at the end of this half inning. Get over to the table behind the white dugout.
So that pushes everyone around. Load of bases, none out. With Antonio Callaway, who's been terrific out at right field for his team. gets a chance to do a little bit of offensive damage. That's ball one. It's Hutchings again. Gets one straight back at him. Tips it down. Makes the force to the plate. Successfully. So the bite grabbing out. Callaway hit one straight back to Hutchings, who got a glove on it, put it to ground, whipped around and got it to Brebner Russ for a force out at the plate.
Once again, ladies, if you have left something valuable in the ladies' bathroom, please come to the
So Cody Hightower steps up for the Cavalry with one out here in the top of the eighth, with loaded bases. And he takes and he swings and he misses. With an 0-2 count. Hutchings throws a curveball. It's driven out to right field. Wienert takes the catch. Sends a long throw into the middle of the diamond. That's a sack fly from Hightower and another run for the Cavalry. Take him to 12-2. They make a change, the Cavalry. Kyle Perkins comes in for an at-bat for the Cavs. And he goes downtown, first pitch. And he pops it onto the grandstand roof. He had a big swing at that pitch. These boys would have bumped into each other along the way somewhere in their junior careers. So Perkins takes a curveball for a ball. He follows suit. It's a fastball down the middle that he fouls off.
Yours to keep, very generous people they are, the great folks at SA Power Networks.
So from the set, Hutchings, curveball. He gets him. So that retires the Cavalry. They add one more to their score. They currently lead at 12-2. We'll be back with you real soon. How's this for a great offer? Duck Air is offering a free upgrade to their university-tested and fully labelled Energy Smart system to all baseball fans. All you have to do is mention Tony Mazzini, Mutz, or even the 10th innings to your local Duck Air dealer. Duck Air's Energy Smart system is the only system that has been tested and proven by the Uni of SA to save you huge amounts off your power bill and increase the comfort in your home. All this from an SA-owned and operated carbon-neutral company. Now that's Energy Smart, and that's a great offer. So Chris Morgan comes in for some relief work for the Cavalry.
Jackson Brebner-Russ is the batter.
Jackson Brebner-Russ gets a hit for the bite. Chris Morgan, who's only featured in 3 games, ERAing at 4.26. But just another lefty in the pen for the Cavalry. That mix of right, left arm pitches going to be very important, and he gets one in on Brebner-Russ and he fouls it onto Cooper's Hill.
SA Power Networks, Carmel. Once again, ladies, if you have lost a purse, anyone has lost a lady's purse, please come to the announcing area.
He gets a change up that Brebner-Russ sat on and fouled it to the backstop. Good piece of hitting. Sat right on that pitch. Timing was good. So Morgan, breaking ball. Hits a little 4 bouncer. Barnes tears in, makes a superb play. And a very, very tough play on a slow roller. Had to come well inside the diamond to get it, and had the class get it to first base, where Wells, with a nice stretch, helped him out. So the Cavalry doing all things right here. As Josh Cakebread comes to the plate and check swings. They asked the question and I would have thought he went. It was quite clear, but needed a third base umpire's clarification. And he hits one straight to third base, and a superb pick from Barnes. An absolutely great play. And he is on fire right at the moment. Hard hit ball. Little inside out by Cakebread, but just a backhand pick up to those feet quickly and got one over to first base for a good out. So lead off Creswell, or number 1 hitter. Number 3 in this lineup comes to the plate. Takes a ball outside and then gets one off the handle, a little straightaway centre field. And Callaway has moved to centre field and takes the catch. It retires the bite, completes 8. See you soon. So Matt Wright makes his debut for the Adelaide Bite. And another great thing of what's to come in the future. Replacing his co-under-18 pitcher, Nick Hutchings. And he comes to the mound only not an overly tall right-hander, but got a live arm. And what a wonderful experience for him as he gets an 0-2 count on Sloane. And gets a breaking pitch over and strikes him out. A K cold to right. Kick things off. And it doesn't matter what stage of a baseball game you are at, one bad at-bat can have a bit of an effect on you when you just felt that your timing all of a sudden wasn't there. So as hard as it is for these boys at 12-2 in the ninth to still knuckle down and keep things rolling, or at least keep in good habits with good timing. So Wright gets Barnes having a big swing and a miss at that one on a 2-0 count. Now make it 2-1. As Wright working from the set delivers and gets a wild pitch up and out. So, although this game and perhaps the season is lost for the Adelaide Bite, much to look forward to, and our future is on the diamond right at the moment. Right to Brebner-Russ, Roger at first, Cakebrett at second, Welsh at third, Creswell shortstop, Lodge, Lattimore and Wiener as he walks Barnes. Thank you very much for being so interactive with us tonight. It's always great. It really does add something to us and give us a bit of a spark. And you're also very lovely. Apart from you, Brenton. Grumpy. To right. And Adam Jacobs in the box for the Cavalry, and he takes a bit of a wild one outside. So Matt Wright started like a little rocket. And with a walk and a couple more balls, needs to find the plate, and he does. And he resets and comes again.
Oh, heads up over there,
and Jacobs fouls that one. Cooper's Hill territory. A few people all deck chaired up on the lovely terraces of the Cooper's Mound there. Sampling a little bit of the finest of Cooper's products. And Matt Wright comes back beautifully and strikes Jacobs out. As we're getting towards the end here, as Marcus Connect comes to the plate. So a few of my young under-13s call it a night and get home for a good night's sleep for their game tomorrow, which I'm very impressed about. And they had a great night here as the dugout team, having a throw and taking some ground balls on the field, then running out with the players for the national anthem. And having a really good night at the baseball, which is so encouraging as we try to foster our juniors and get them into senior ranks, all for the betterment of baseball. That's right, again. The ball's in the dirt. And he walks. Connect. And Michael Wells comes to the plate for maybe one last time tonight, unless something extraordinary occurred. So the Cavalry with runners on first and second, 2 out. They lead at 12-2 in a bit of a shellacking. Right, delivers. And that ball's flowing out. Centre field, Lattimore cruises around, takes the catch, retires the Cavalry, and they're 3 outs away from taking game 3 in a 2-1 lead in this series. Every win valuable for Canberra as they shoot for top spot. We'll have a break. See you in a sec.
After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel? Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's Roadside Rescue Service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
Sunday session with Norwood and the Chancellor.
So Chris Morgan to finish things off here for the Cavalry, looking for 3 outs. Ethan Paquette gets a hit for the bite. Take a first pitch ball. It was wonderful to see young Sean Wright when he walked off the mound there, even though the bite are down and out. But every member of the team got up and gave him a high five and got around him. And Nick Hutchins, who he relieved, came and gave him a good hug. And our famous bat boy, Timmy Rogers. Timmy went up and had a hug of him as well. So I don't know who Timmy Rogers is. That ball by Paquette hit the second base for a 4-3.
Now batting, number 28, centre fielder, Quincy Lattimore.
Timmy Russell, I'm sorry. So got reprimanded by his dad sitting next to me. I should know his surname. That pitch up and out to Lattimore for ball 1. He takes ball 2. And he pops that one up. That was his pitch. He flew it high to centre right field where the catch is taken. So 2 outs, 1 out away, the Cavs, from a Game 3 victory. And Troy Wienert gets another crack at things. So the Cavalry slept well last night with that important win for them. And they came out today with some real purpose. And they have been way too good, as you would expect from a team rolling into some finals action. They look right on target. So a 2-1 count on Troy Wienert as Chris Morgan delivers, gets that one inside. 3-1. And he delivers again. Wienert has popped that up. Straight up. Jacobs takes the catch. The Cavalry take the match. And they take a 2-1 lead in this 4-game series. And they were way too good tonight. Not much to say. The class acts of the Cavalry, Staval, Bashini, Barnes, were just way too good. And they got a nice start from Holtzcombe. And they blitz the bite in Game 3 and take a 2-1 lead.